Alright, guys, and welcome back to Infinity Train, Episode 2, the Corgi car and the Crystal car. I keep saying the Corgi car and the beach car on accident. I don't know why. But yeah, and hey, guess what? I'm already a day behind. As I'm recording this, the first episode still hasn't gone out, and I'm the worst. But no, we got another 2 episodes. Good, solid episodes. Part of me thinks I better have a grasp of what's going on. Part of me's, I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I'll admit, I don't think the show is that funny. There's a few good jokes. I'm more just invested in these characters and what's going on and the mystery of it all. I think that's entranced me more than anything else. I'm more interested in everything else surrounding the show and the mystery, which part of me doesn't even think is actually that complicated. Part of me wonders if there isn't even a mystery at all, and it's just kind of it's made up as it goes, but the rules don't really matter. It's kind of like a Neverland situation where it works because it works, you know? But yeah, these are solid episodes. So the first one is the Corgi car, and if you saw the pilot, this is 80% the same thing. The episode is about 80% the same. It's not a perfect match, but it's still pretty similar. Just to start off, the start of this episode is different. The pilot started with a weird weight puzzle thingy, if I remember correctly. Again, it's been 2 years. This one they start off in a music room, and again, I like the sound in this show. I'll get into it a little bit later, but I like how the show does music. There's a lot of stuff. There's some stuff I even forgot to bring up last episode. But yeah, so we get a music room. It's nice. Basically, Tulip is just trying to run through the rooms as fast as possible. She goes into a duck room, and there's this cross-eyed duck who asks for help, but she says no and moves on. Which, again, in me trying to figure out what the number means, my first thought is the number goes up whenever she helps someone. Which would make sense with previous episodes. Well, more or less. But the next episode actually proves that wrong, and I think I have figured out why the number goes up. But we'll get to that in the next, and not the next video, but the Crystal Room episode. Crystal car. But then she goes over to the next room, which is a room based on the Monster Mash. That's actually really funny. Again, I like how this show is handling music. Again, we'll get to the Crystal Room. But yeah, no, the music works really well. It's a Monster Mash room. Who? You have to have a cold heart to hate the Monster Mash. It's so pure and innocent. I love it. And then she goes through an Indiana Jones room. It's just a means to an end. Basically, this entire thing is a quick room montage before she ends up in Corginia. She takes a Torinia of Corginia. Whatever. She ends up in the Corgi car. And at the Corgi car, she's greeted by Atticus, king of the Corgis. Atticus is still great. He's a lot of... Just the way he's the dog, but he's also a king, and he mixes the mannerisms. Is it cliche? Kind of. Is it a lot of fun? Yeah. And so she goes around Corginia, but she doesn't really care. She just wants to get to the door and move on. And she finds out the door is on the other side of a river and a mountain, but there's this weird monster in the sky, and it's causing the river to flood. If you've seen this, if you saw the pilot, this is all very familiar. It's the exact same setup. Everything goes on. They even reuse the same of the few jokes, like the Corgi Atticus not wanting to go through the door when they open it. Am I the only one who's never had that problem with their dogs? I've had that problem with cats, where when I'm trying to get the cat to come in from outside, he does not want to come inside. The cats do that. The dogs don't. The dogs completely love to go outside and run around in their yard. However, they don't stay in their yard. But they're still good. She's a good girl. My tallest. But yeah, and the river joke is the exact same about picking up the dog. That one I know is true. Right, where they don't like to go, right? That's funny. Even some of the shots are the exact same, right? It's the exact same shot of them in the shadow. I mean, there may have been one or two minor little alterations, but for the most part, it's the exact, everything is the same. I kind of touched on how the show looks differently between the pilot and the original show. And when coming to Corgania, I said this was going to be the metric to how much the show has grown. And yeah, no, there's the one shot of all the corgis in the town. It's a nice looking shot. The animation is very well done. The backgrounds are all very well done. And there is definitely an improvement from the pilot. And how I'm trying to compare it is like, because the color palette's a little different as well. I'd argue the color palette's a little bit more muted this time, but it's muted because it's more stylized. It's like comparing Wind Waker to Skyward Sword. They both are uniquely styled in their own way, but the pilot was more like Wind Waker. Okay, it wasn't as extremely cartoony as Wind Waker, but it had the elements, whereas this is more using like a watercolor style palette with all of its colors. Even though scenes take place at day, there's always this era of sunset, and we'll get to this in the Crystal Room as well. But yeah, the colors, they're just more, it's a different style of background. It reminds me of watercolor, or at least, it's a very, like, it's not like as extreme as like something like Skyward Sword, but that's just what the colors remind me of. But they get to the top of the hill and they find this weird orb with a spider on it, and the spider is projecting the scary thing in the mountain. Atticus eats the spider. I have seen dogs do that. And, Tulip's like, they're like, everything should have gone back to normal. It didn't. Tulip's like, everything is hopeless. Because she says, I think the number hadn't... I don't remember if it's this episode or the Crystal. I know I just rewatched the episode, but don't kill me. Where she's like, I've been on this train for a week now, and the number hasn't changed in a week. But she also says she doesn't know how time works on the train. Yeah, okay, you're right. My guess is it's a Jeremy Bearimy where everything loops in around on itself, and there are moments where it always happened never, but never is also Tuesdays. Go watch The Good Place. Really good. But eventually they do find out there's something else going on, and there's this weird monster that's just pulling orbs out of the wall. It's the same I still love this design. Just the mask, the fire eyes, and just all the tentacles, right? No body or anything. It's a really nice looking design. Very simplistic, but effective. But she fights the monster. Eventually she hits it with the door, lifting up the face mask where you can just see the fire. Then the monster runs away, and hey, now that the monster's gone, they're able to fix the waterfall. Hey, the number's going down. And yeah, and then Atticus says that he's going to join them. I don't think that was... Based on the pilot, I don't think Atticus joined them, if I remember correctly. And my guess is based off of people's reactions to the pilot, they decide to have Atticus join them, which is a clever move. Atticus is a very, likable character. Kind of like, even though Tulip's kind of a butt, all the characters are likable. But I got my first theory for you. What is this weird, scary monster? My guess, this is 1-1's mother. I'm throwing it out there. I mean, I know if you've seen the entire show, you probably already know the answer. My guess is it's 1-1's mother. Because I got 3 reasons. So one, when it's going through the wall, it's pulling out these globs. And then it's just tossing them away. It's looking for something. My guess is it's looking for 1-1. Somewhere's in the wall or whatnot, but that's why it's pulling out globs. When when the faceplate opens up, you see a rounded surface on its face. That's where 1-1 goes. It goes inside of there. Right? Yeah. I don't know. That's just, it may not be a perfect fit, but yeah, that's what it looks like. And then when fighting it, right before the fight, she stuffs 1-1 in the bag. And then right at the end of the fight, 1-1 pops up, does a little dance real quick. The monster sees it and runs off. It knows something. I think the monster is 1-1's mom. It makes sense. And in the next episode, one's like, oh yeah, the tentacle monster was our friend. And it's like, and Tulip's like, no, it tried to kill you. And one's like, oh, it could be our mom. And Tulip's like, no. And it's like, and one's like, oh, I don't know, maybe. I butchered that completely. But basically, it's leaving it up in the air. I hadn't put that together, but I think that's it. I think that's what's going down. I could be wrong. I probably am wrong. I'm always wrong. But it's a theory that I think has enough little pieces going for it that I kind of like. I'll see. I mean, a lot of all y'all's probably already know. And yeah, that's the Corgi car. It's basically unchanged from the pilot, and I like the pilot episode, and yeah, I like this one as well. The changes they made aren't too significant as to, like, really have any major impact on the episode. I remember there was a focus on getting the number down, and defeating this monster, getting the number down, is interesting. What does it all mean? Like I said, I think I figured it out, but we'll get to the end of the crystal car first. So the next episode starts off in an Italian village. Again, nice looking colors. A lot of this episode has a very, the Italian village is bathed in like sunset. I almost said sunlight. But it's all in a sunset. It's very nice. There's people with like a rose on their head. But they get out of the Italian village and they're trying to figure out what causes the number to go down. That's Tulip's big quest. Atticus is telling her not to really stress about it. But she realizes the correlation is helping people and fighting something. Which, yeah, it is a correlation so far. But they get into the next car, which is the crystal car. I like the design of the crystal car. I wasn't sure about it at first, but what I like about it is it also has that sunset feel, but it has a lot of fall colors. Normally I associate crystals with blue, and while there's blue here and there, for the most part there's a lot of purples and oranges and yellows and some shades of reds, a little like darker shades of pink. It reminds me of fall colors. It's not your traditional crystal world, which usually crystal worlds have a lot of blue in them. And that's what I like about the design of the crystal car. They get to the door, and instead of being on the ground, it's high up in the air, and then some Crystal Man pops out, but they can't understand the Crystal Man. The Crystal Man's got an okay design. It works, but the Crystal Man can't speak, so they have to communicate with it through charades, and it says that there was a stairway, but the stairway was destroyed by the monster. This is where I get the scene I butchered earlier. But the Crystal Man charades to them that to get the door open, they have to sing a song to get the crystal, right? To appease the crystal. They basically have to resonate with the crystal, which is, again, it's cliche, but I like songs, man. If you've never seen a .mp4 video, you know I like music. So yeah, no, I'm always down with song episodes, and I like how the show handles songs. Atticus goes to sing his song, the crystal glows a little bit, but the crystal doesn't accept howling. It needs music. One goes to sing his song, and it's the freaking dial-up modem. Okay, that was one of the few jokes that actually did get a good laugh out of me. I love that. I love references to old, outdated technology that's really bad. But yeah, much like it, the crystal again glows, but because it's not a song, it doesn't actually do anything. So Tulip says, oh, I've got this, and she starts singing, not My Heart Will Go On from Titanic, but because they don't have the licensing for Titanic, it's like a parody song, and she makes up a parody movie about a Zeppelin. It's funny. It reminds me of, you know what it reminded me of? Kimmy Schmidt. If you've never seen Kimmy Schmidt, it's all on Netflix, 4 seasons, it's short-ish. If you've seen The Office a dozen times, go watch Kimmy Schmidt. It's so funny, but they've got one bit called Now That Sounds Like Music.
I'm hiking on sunlight. I'm hiking on sunlight. And it's sort of okay.
And yeah, that's what this reminds me of, because we get a quick montage here of her like trying to sing different genres of music to like get the crystal to activate. It's really funny, right? It didn't make me laugh, but I think it's clever. you know? But none of it's working. So Tulip decides, screw it. She's going to use logic to get through this. And she's going to build a ladder. And she asks the other guys for help, but as a recurring joke in the show, she's the only one that has thumbs, which for some reason made me think of the Lord of the Ring thing where, you know, all the races are lazy except for the humans, which while they're easily corruptible, humans are kind of the get things done race. That's kind of what this reminded me of, where like, because all the races don't have thumbs, Tulip is the get things done person because she's the one that does. I don't know why I thought of it, but it did. So we get another little montage of Tulip trying to build a ladder while Atticus recites the Ballad of Mustard and Stinktail. It's okay. But then she gets her ladder up and the door just won't open. The door is locked as well, so hey, she finds one solution. But it's not going to work because she needs a song, but she was thinking about it wrong. She didn't need a song that was special to the Crystal people. She needed a song that was special to herself. So she starts thinking up of different songs and whatnot, different special memories to her, and eventually she gets set on the memory of road trips, which makes the crystal start glowing, which makes the world around her start resonating. Again, it's kind of, it's clever. And she's like, no, I don't want to do this. That song's super embarrassing. The song is Word Up by Cameo. You get it? It's a song by Cameo and it's making a cameo in this show. Clever. I have had this song stuck in my head all day. Well, okay, for the past like 24 hours since yesterday. Oh my god, I've always loved this song. If you don't know, most of Cameo's work is actually pretty good. It's 70s and 80s stuff. But this, oh god, Word Up is so good, and I've had it stuck in my head. They do it really well. I love it, man. I like the music. I like all the music they've done in this show. All the references, all that. I didn't even bring up the Benny Hill theme in the last episode. That was really funny as well. But yeah, I liked what the show has done with it so far. And yeah, this was a great little scene as she learns to like embrace the music, right? Oh yeah, it may be embarrassing to her, but she likes the song and it's special to her. And it resonates with the crystal, so not this giant crystal, but this crystal giant shows up, gives them the staircase, gives her a key, right? Unlocks the door with a key, and yay, they've escaped and the number goes down. Yeah, okay then. Okay, and that's the episode. Yeah, no, again, it's a good, solid episode. I like the music stuff. I like all the jokes with the music. Again, only like one or two of them actually made me laugh. But there's a lot of stuff that I think is like clever in a nice way. I like it. It's a lot of fun. So, while watching this episode, I meant to bring this up earlier and just forgot. There's a scene where she's like talking and she's trying to figure it out, right? Where it's like, oh, we help someone and we fight, and that's what makes the number go down. And for some stupid reason, that reminded me of a movie called The Page Master. If you don't know what The Page Master is, it was a movie with Macaulay Culkin in the 90s, and it was about him going on a magical reading adventure with other books because he was like this nerd who was obsessed with statistics, and he learned about the joys of reading and all these books and whatnot, and it's not technically a good movie. I know some people have right nostalgia for it. I don't. But I was like, this is just Page Master, right? Where she's this girl who's obsessed with her games, coding, and logic. And now she's stuck on this train and on this magical adventure to learn about the magic of imagination, right? This episode is about the magic of song. And that's the joke, but it's also true. That's what this is. This is her. She's a coder, right? She wants to learn about logic. She tries to solve this music puzzle with logic, and it doesn't work. So she has to learn about song. I'm joking, but it's true. And the whole reason I'm telling you all this is because that's what made me realize how the number works. The number goes down when she grows as a person. In the Corgi car, she thinks it's hopeless, right? She's been stuck on this train, she's missing everything, she's never getting out. And then Atticus gives her the talk and she gains hope. Then the number goes down. Well, after she defeats the monster. This episode, she sings the song and she realizes that, hey, the song isn't actually that embarrassing. She gets the solution to the puzzle and then the number goes down. The number goes down when she grows as a person. That's it. That's why it happens. I'm fairly certain in this one. Unlike all my previous guesses where I've had counter logic, there's probably something to counter this, but I can't think of it. This seems pretty tight for me. It's her growing. This is her Page Master adventure. And when she completes her Page Master adventure and has fully grown, then she'll finally be able to leave the train. That's my guess. And that's what put it all together. But yeah. I'm liking it so far. I'm trying to figure out the mystery. I'm having fun. Most of my guesses are probably wrong, but who knows? I'm enjoying the show. It's pretty good. It's nothing. There's nothing that's like blown me away yet, I'll admit, even though I have been told that's coming. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. It's pretty good. But I hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. Until next time, peace.